I'm Lissa from Coffee Talk, and I'm here with my cousin, Chip Coffey.
We are kissing cousins.
And this is the Coffee Talk Tour, believe it or not. Tell me, how many cities have you been to, and what's the process for all this?
We've only been to one city. Actually, I'm here in LA with you. And we just came back from San Francisco, got here from San Francisco, where we sold out 2 shows. And our show here tonight at the Biltmore is in about an hour.
Yay! And so where do you go from here? How many cities are you doing?
Total of 13 cities, lucky 13. And from here we go to San Diego, to Phoenix, 4 cities in Texas, 2 Florida cities, Atlanta, Lexington, Louisville. I'm thinking of where all I'm going, and it's crazy.
I don't know how you can remember all this.
And winding up in Oklahoma City, and in between that, I have a stop in New Hampshire for another event.
Wow. So how do you keep your energy up? How do you keep regenerated and refreshed so that you're good to go on each of these cities?
You know what's really interesting is that I love afternoon naps, and sometimes I'll rest for like an hour, hour and a half in the afternoon, just a quick rejuvenating snooze in the afternoon. I'm very fond of my afternoon naps.
That's good. That's good. And now when you're on the road and you're meeting so many different people,
right.
I guess you're meeting a lot of different ghosts, or what do you call them?
Energies, ghosts, spirits.
Yeah. Anybody interesting like that kind of stays with you or that you really remember?
You know, I'm hoping that here in LA we might come in contact with the Black Dahlia.
That would be cool.
I hear you went on the tour.
Yeah, it was really neat. It was on a bus, but we saw like parts of LA where she was killed and where they found her and all that. But this is the hotel where she used to be all the time.
Absolutely. Mary Short, I think is her name.
Yeah.
And supposedly it was a particularly gruesome killing.
Mm-hmm.
And there have been some reports that she's been seen here. Reports of a man, well, everywhere there are reports of a man in dark clothing, but here at this hotel as well, and reports of a little boy that wanders around the hotel from what I understand.
Oh, really? I hadn't heard that. That's interesting.
So perhaps we'll come into contact with some of them. And did you know that in this hotel that the original Academy Awards were held in this hotel?
I didn't know that. This is a lot of history here.
It is. I think it's great. There's a lot of history. And in one of the rooms here, maybe even this one we're in, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills did the reunion episode. So
that's history.
That's history. That is big history.
Pop culture history.
Big pop culture history.
So in Los Angeles, you're going to do the special ghost hunt type of thing. Is that what you would call it? And do you do that in every city?
Every city. We look for properties that have some haunted history or locations that have a haunted history. And after the main part of my program, those people who have bought our super VIP package stay, and we try to stir up a little ghostly energy.
That's wonderful. I'll bet people love it.
It's fun. And tonight we have a special guest with us. We have Britt Griffith from Ghost Hunters and Ghost Hunters International.
Yay!
And he's our special guest here tonight for the Coffee Talk.
Wonderful. Do you need to use any special equipment when you're doing this?
I don't. I usually don't. I have a flashlight, and we do a little cute experiment later that you'll see with a little mini mag light. I know that Britt's brought some of the ghost hunting equipment with him, and we'll see exactly what we come up with.
What advice would you give people at home if they want to contact their relatives or their ancestors that have passed? What do you tell them to do?
If they're trying to do it individually, I think it's just listen and look for signs. Don't make everything a sign, but if it's so in your face that you can't deny the coincidence, if it's too coincidental to be a coincidence, then I think that's when you can say that perhaps you've had some sort of a paranormal or spiritual encounter. Mm-hmm. If you're looking for a good medium, they should be able to give you information that you can relate to and validate. And that's the way that you can tell a good psychic or a good medium. Are they telling you things that you can relate to and you can validate? Maybe not in the moment, but at some point in time, you should be able to validate a large percentage of what you're told by any intuitive.
Are there certain types of people who, when they pass, they're more communicative?
I think if they were communicative in life, they're going to be communicative in death, unless there's some breach between the person who's wanting to contact them and the person that they're trying to contact. I'll give you an example. There was a lady that came to me and wanted me to contact her deceased husband, and it turns out that she found out that he was that he was having an affair, and she said, I'm going to take you for every cent you're worth, and that led him to commit suicide.
Oh, no.
Because he was going to be ruined, completely ruined his reputation. She was going to make a big to-do out of the affair that he had had, and she found him when he took his own life with a shotgun.
Oh, no.
And when they buried him, she said to him, I didn't want you in life, and now I don't want you in death, so don't come back to me. But yet, she came to me to contact him, and he wouldn't say a word to her.
Oh, wow.
Would not say a word. Now, I didn't know a single thing about this, but he didn't say a word to her.
Wow. I remember last time you had your coffee talk tour, someone asked about, she wanted to speak with her dog, and what would the dog say, and you had the best answer.
Woof, 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 woof. Woof.
I'm like, that's so perfect, because animals are so unconditionally loving in the present. Why wouldn't they be in the other realm, right?
The dog, if you have to put your dog down, your dog doesn't hate you for that. Your dog knows you did it with every ounce of love and concern. In most instances, let's put it that way. But, you know, I couldn't take this lady's money for contacting her dog.
Yeah, yeah. And this is so perfect, because I think people feel so attached to their animals, sometimes more so than to people.
Absolutely. I know that I have 4 dogs at home, and they're my kids. So I'm going to be devastated when the inevitable happens with my animals. So I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah. What advice do you give to people who are really grieving and missing their loved ones?
Grief is a process that you can't get over or under or around. You've got to just get through it. The length of time that you grieve does not equate to the love that you felt for someone. So if you need to grieve for 6 weeks, grieve for 6 weeks, not necessarily for 6 months. Don't feel guilty that you don't feel like you've grieved long enough. Be easy on yourself. Realize that it is a process, and you're going to have to make your way through it. Now, if your grief hasn't lessened at all after a year, then you need definitely to have some therapy, because if it's not getting any easier to live without your loved one, then you got a problem.
Right. Do you think that people tend to hang on hoping that they'll get some message, or there's still some attachment there?
What they don't understand, in my experience, is the deeper the grief, the less chance that you're going to get a message. If you are so bound by your grief, then chances are you are not going to be able to make effective communication with your loved one.
That's a really important lesson for people to hear.
It's a huge lesson for people to hear.
Yeah.
Most of the time it takes a distinct healing of your heart to be able to manage that.
And I'll bet you come up with, people all the time who come to you just for this reason. They're looking for closure. They're looking for some why. They're looking for the why and the what, and it's hard to find that healing just in one moment, right?
It is. I think what most people want to know is that their loved one has continued on. The essence of the person the soul has continued to exist, and that soul retains memories, retains the love, and continues to go on in a place that's free from pain, and there's no suffering, and it's a place that's safe and peaceful.
Right. And that's always the case, right?
It is.
Yeah. Good. Wonderful. Anything else you might say?
I'm just glad you're here.
I'm glad you're here. You are the best. Mwah.
It's good to see you.
Thank you so much. Good to see you too.
Cousins are the best.
Yeah, stay tuned for more coffee talk next time. Both ways. Mwah.